Happy Friday to everyone who's here. I'm gonna pass it off to Calista and Stephanie, but thanks for joining us for our first session of ISEA on this Friday, which is March 12th, and this session is being recorded, so you'll be able to check it out at a later time. Okay, I'll let y'all go ahead.
Thanks, Emily. Hi, everyone. I'm Calista. I'm gonna share my screen real quick. Okay. All right, so you've come to the GEMS, Girls in Engineering, Math and Science presentation. We're so glad that you're able to join us. My name is Calista Burns. I'm an undergraduate education major at UIW. I'm a junior. I'm also the GEMS head camp counselor and curriculum coordinator. And I'll have my partner Stephanie introduce herself real quick.
Hi everyone, I'm Stephanie Weiss-Lopez. I am a UIW alumni. I graduated with a meteorology degree in December of 2020, and I'm starting my master's this fall. I am currently the GEMS project manager as well as the AVS Labs assistant, the project manager, the meteorologist, kind of a little bit of everything. We are so excited that y'all could join us today so we could tell you a little bit about our GEMS program. Calista?
Okay, I'm gonna move this little box out of the way. Okay, so a little bit of background of GEMS. GEMS stands for Girls in Engineering, Math and Science, and we are an all-girls free STEAM, so it's science, technology, engineering, arts, and math, and we have camps and clubs. We are located at the University of the Incarnate Word in San Antonio, and we have two branches off of GEMS. One is Mini GEMS, which is for our middle schoolers, so it's 5th through 8th grade, and then Mega GEMS is for our high schoolers, 9th through 12th grade. And our mission is to inspire and empower young girls to be innovative with their future in STEAM. We actually just updated our logo, so this is our nice, big, beautiful gold GEMS logo. Okay, a little bit of history. Mini GEMS actually started in 2015 as a one-week camp, and there were 26 students in that camp with an 85% minority rate. In 2016, we kind of replicated our first camp, and then in 2017, 2018, and 2019, we actually grew to 4 camps, and they were actually each 2 weeks long, and majority of our camps were minority. And each year really grew the camps with our number of students. In 2019 was the first year we had our Mega GEMS camp for our high schoolers, and we had 2 camps each 2 weeks long, and we had 50 students with majority of minority students as well. In 2019 we started the Mega RC, which stands for Research Camp, and we had 1 camp, and it was 6 weeks with 15 students. There we go. Oh, it wouldn't let me go to the next slide. Okay, so Mini GEMS in 2019 was the last time we got to actually have in-person camp, so I just wanted to give a quick recap of it. We had 5th through 8th grade students from 3 school districts, ISD, Southside, and Judson ISD. We really focus on hands-on STEAM experiments. We do not do any PowerPoints, anything that will bore the kids, because that is not our goal. We want them to have fun at this camp and learn as much as they can. We do a lot of work with the EV3 Lego Mindstorm robots, where the girls actually program and code the robot on their own. And then we also serve the girls hot meals and snacks. We give them breakfast, lunch, a snack during the day, and a take-home snack each day. And we also provide transportation. So we have UIW shuttles go to the girls' schools and pick them up there. So it kind of alleviates that stress on the parents so that they don't have to drive them all the way to UIW. So it's just basically like taking the girls to school for their parents. So we pick them up in the morning and take them back at the end of the day. Okay, it's not letting me. Whoa.
Technology's fun. All right. So again, like Ms. Calista said, for 2019, that was actually a very big year for us. That was when we piloted our mega program. We really felt that since we had our mini gems, which was 5th through 8th grade, we didn't want to just stop seeing our girls. We wanted to continue to see them, to be a part of their lives. And so that's how we established Mega. And so 2019 was big for us because we piloted the Mega Gems program and then the Mega RC. And you can see now our logo has changed. It went from yellow to pink to gold. So our blanketed logo is the gold, mini is always pink, and Mega is always purple. So it's always fun because you could see on campus all the yellows or all the pinks and the purples walking around. So you always knew which was which. Again, Mega is 9th through 12th grade. So it's our high school. With that, we kind of break it down. So Mega Gems is 9th and 10th, where the research camp is focused on 11th and 12th graders. Basically, with that, we'll kind of give you a little bit more in just a second, but it's more of higher caliber, more college level research. It allows them to just kind of take those extra steps and basically get them ready for college. With that, we actually have a huge collaboration with Girls Inc., their Eureka program. GEMS continues to work with them to basically stay in connection with our girls, as well as they help us continue to have new girls come into our program. So not all girls start with the GEMS program in 5th grade and stay all the way in. Girls sometimes jump in halfway through or whenever. We always encourage people to join. With Mega Gems, we have advanced hands-on STEAM experiments. One of the examples we like to use when we talk about it is everybody likes to make slime. Slime has been really big over the last couple of years, but with the mini gemmers, that I like to call them mini gemmers, they like to do slime. Well, once they become Mega Gem, they don't necessarily want to do slime, but we actually break it down so they can see what the actual chemical reaction that is occurring, and they can actually see all the different chemical properties and the breakdown and really just hands-on to see what is happening. We do a lot of artificial intelligence with Python, with applications to drones. Mega Gems, or Gems I should say, actually stems from the AVS lab at UIW in the engineering department. It is the Autonomous Vehicle Research Systems Laboratories. And so with that, we do actually have some of the girls working with the drones. One of our girls that particular year actually got her FAA pilot's license for Part 107, which was really, really neat. She was only 16 years old and our youngest to date. With the research camp, like Ms. Calista said, it was a 6-week program with the 15 students. You can see in the images, the girls on the top, they're all in purple. Those are some of our Mega Gems. And then on the bottom is our research camp. And you can see there's a huge group. The girls, basically, they're finding their new best friends and they build a lot of great relationships. Next slide. Some of the stats for 2019, again, this was one of our biggest years. It was a very, very exciting year. We have 3 school districts that we were working at the time. We're currently working with 4th and 5th school district as of right now. Throughout the duration of that summer, we had 11 teachers. We had 33 staff members. It was our largest staff to date. Again, kind of reminding you, back in 2015, there was only 2 staff members and 26 campers. So it was very small, and a lot of things changed from 2015 to 2019. We had 255 original applications come in and 227 attended at least one day. Some girls applied, but then parents decided, oh, you know, family vacations, or some girls, they didn't feel like it was for them. So unfortunately that did change some of the attendance, but over 3,000 hot meals and snacks were prepared. One of the biggest lesson learns that GEMS had very early on was removing any obstacle that would prevent someone from not being able to attend camp. So with that, meals, that was one of the biggest things. If you're going to keep kids from 8:30 in the morning until 4 o'clock in the afternoon, you need to feed them. And you need to feed them several times a day because they are very hungry in the summertime. So providing snacks, having fresh fruit. We learned that oranges, I know it sounds silly, but having oranges around all day, every day, the little cuties, they'd walk by, they'd grab an orange. They were constantly having that, and as well as having reusable water bottles that they can fill. These were very good lesson learned to have for our girls. That particular summer, we had a budget of $200,000 to produce our camps. That was our largest budget to date as well. Next slide. If it lets you.
Maybe. Nope. There we go. Is that it? Nope. Oh my goodness.
There you go.
Okay. So in 2020, we had our first spring break camp for our Mini Gems campers. It was a 3-day camp, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and we had it from 8:30 to 4. We had 30 students, so it was actually pretty big. And it was all 5th graders from Barclay Ruiz Elementary School. Same kind of concept as the summer camps. We had pop breakfast, lunch, and snacks for the students, and we focused a lot on the EV3 robots. And we also built a gigantic Rube Goldberg machine, which was really fun for the students. You can see them in this picture actually working on it. And what was neat about it is actually they programmed their EV3 to start the Rube Goldberg machine. So they were super dedicated to finishing this Rube Goldberg machine, and it was awesome to see the completed project.
With that summer with 2020, the day after our first ever spring break camp ended, kind of the country shut down with COVID. So because of that, again, we had to pivot. It's like, okay, what do we do now? We were going to have camp. So instead of having our Mega RC, we now had a VRC, which is a virtual research camp. This camp was held July 6th through the 31st. We met with the girls 3 days a week for several hours or a couple hours at a time. We had to remind ourselves and always make sure that, you know, our girls are still in high school. They need to have their summer. They still need to have their time to let their brains relax. And so we tried to make sure we found that perfect balance. It was college level research. So with that, we would go over with our girls how to know what's good, like a good research topic, good sources, how to find them, how to cite. A lot of them, was very interesting because the age ranges we had didn't all know APA format. And then they didn't know that APA format is constantly changing. So it was little things like that and giving them really good databases to use to help them align. We had 5 girls for this research camp, and you can see in the photo on the right that actually has our girls, as well as it has some of our guest speakers from HEB. We also had other guest speakers from Valero as well as IDRA. Next slide. At the end of our research camp, we actually had a big showcase, and I know Calista's trying to get the slide to change, but it kind of segues into the next slides. We had a big showcase where the girls actually presented all their research, and it was a Zoom showcase, but it was actually held countrywide. We went from coast to coast. We had people from California, we had people from South Carolina. It was really neat. We had somebody join us from the Army Research Office, or the ARO, and with that, it's actually developed a new relationship for us. This is an example of some of the research that's being done from our girls. This is Vishali Baker. She is actually a senior at Smithson Valley High School here in San Antonio. And her topic is the future of robotic surgery technology, or RST, and the training methods. And she had several results with the haptic devices, the simulation of the most accurate. She also took a Lego EV3, like Calista talked about, that they do the programming, but she actually turned it into a haptic arm, which was very interesting because she took these Legos that were not necessarily meant for this, but she turned it into it. And this has been her ongoing research and different avenues of this research for the last 3 years. Her research where she talks about different training, how virtual reality could be a better training method. She definitely has a huge future ahead of her. Her goals are to possibly go to MIT or Johns Hopkins. Biomedical engineering is basically her future that she is trying to have. And you can see here on the bottom right, this was the first presentation that she did with us back in 2019 for the Mega RC. Next slide. And Manali Baker was another one who joined us for the VRC. It is her younger sister, and we kind of like to point out that this is one of our favorite things about GEMS, is that not only do they tell their friends, but then they have younger siblings that like to join us. So it's really neat to see how the family continues to grow along with how GEMS continues to grow. Manali Baker, hers was a little different. She was doing robotic competitions for special needs friendly. She focused on 6 different special needs. She had like Tourette's, autism, I think cerebral palsy may have been one of them. She had 7 different ones that she really looked at, but just really discussing how a lot of these competitions were not necessarily special need friendly. And so she was trying to figure out a way to make it special need friendly. Talking about how they can not only be assets, how, again, every person brings their own strengths and weaknesses to anything. And so really looking at theirs. She created this construction themed game, which would help them. And she felt that it was going to be a huge confidence boost for them. And she is continuing her research by trying to develop a joystick that will have uncontrollable movement friendly, because some of them, some of these particular special needs that she was looking into would have sudden movements, which would therefore affect their competition. So she's trying to figure out from an engineering standpoint how she could develop this. Next slide.
There we go.
And then, as always, lesson learned. One of the biggest things that we always do is we're constantly writing down lesson learned or different obstacles we're coming across, especially as we were talking about before this began. Even Zoom sometimes tends to be an obstacle for us. Not always, the technology doesn't necessarily want to work. Some of our lesson learned for VRC, extending our camp. The girls actually wanted our camp longer, which always makes us feel good when the girls tell us that, you know, oh, we want it to be longer, but we don't want it to end. But they felt that from going from 4 weeks to 6 weeks would not only allow them to spend more time on their research, which they all wanted to do, but then also they felt it would give them a better understanding and allow for more time, more preparation. Changing the camp, not calling it a camp, calling it an internship or an apprenticeship. As the girls go from mini GEMS and going into mega GEMS, start referring it to an internship, apprenticeship, something just a higher caliber. So it kind of defines a little bit more of what they're doing. Networking and job shadowing. This was one of our big ones. We even had a couple of our guest speakers discuss the importance of networking and job shadowing. Not knowing, you never really know who you're going to meet and when you meet them. Also with the job shadowing, that sometimes it's okay to shadow someone and realize, you know what, I don't think I want to do this. And it's okay. It's okay if it's a no, because that's going to help you align your path a little better. Developing a CV or a resume, that's something that we're really working with our girls, as a lot of them are starting to do a lot of different research or attend different events, being a part of Girls Inc., being a part of GEMS. So as they start asking for letters of recommendation or anything like that, they actually have a nice layout, and they're applying for college. They have a layout that they can use, that they can reference. And of course, the elevator speech. We all have our elevator speech. Calista and I are known because we start talking about GEMS. We meet someone and they're like, oh, what do you do? Oh, I work for GEMS. It's a da-da-da-da-da. Next thing we know, they're like, well, tell me a little bit more about it. And so now we're doing our own elevator speech. So we really like to talk to our girls so they can be comfortable not only discussing who they are and what they want to do, but also the type of research that they enjoy. Discussion questions for engagement. This was big. Mental health, we noticed, was a really, really big thing during the early stages of COVID, as we're all trying to adapt to being home all the time, not able to see family and friends as much. And now everybody is just a little tiny square on the computer screen. Miss Calista is really great at developing different discussion questions to get the girls talking, to get them engaged. Some days you would see the girls, like they would just all be laughing and cracking up because some of the questions would then lead to the girls talking, and then a whole conversation starts. So that was exactly what we wanted to see. And always, of course, the daily check-ins and schedule of the one-on-one feedback meetings. The daily check-ins, again, at this time, they weren't 100% used to, like as we are with our job. You check your email every day. You check your email a couple times a day. This is something that they weren't used to. So trying to tell them that when you have an internship or an apprenticeship, that the importance of doing daily check-ins, letting your boss know status updates, if you have a question on something to ask, the importance of all of that, it weighed a little heavier. So just taking all that feedback, and then also our one-on-ones, that was something we provided at the end of every Zoom meeting to let the girls know that we were available at any time. If they had questions for their research or just got stuck on something, that we were available for them. So really emphasizing the importance of that. Next slide.
Okay, so after our virtual research camp, we still wanted to connect with our younger girls in mini gems. So I came up with this idea of creating a STEAM activity kit. And I created 50 kits, and each kit had 3 STEAM experiments, snake bubbles, puffy paint, and storm in a jar. And they actually all came from Valero's website, fueledby.com. And they have a bunch of great STEAM activities that kids can do at home. So I am actually Miss Fiesta San Antonio, and in that role, I get the amazing opportunity to implement a community service project, which is my passion project, GEMS. So I was really grateful to be able to partner with the Fiesta Commission and Valero to create this kit for 50 of our students. The kits went to 5th graders at Barclay Reeds Elementary and Elof Elementary, and that's SAISD and Judson ISD. Each kit, I actually personally delivered them to the students' homes. I found that personally delivering them keeps that connection, and it's not something you see every day. Going to their homes or wherever they live, you know, grandma's house, uncle's house. It was just fun to meet their families and see where they come from and kind of get a better idea of their home life and how better we can help them. Again, this kit was 100% free for our girls, like everything else in GEMS. So we're really excited to have our first STEAM kit. Okay. Sorry, technology is not being my friend today. Okay, so we actually created another STEAM kit in December called our holiday STEAM kits, and we actually doubled the kits from 50 to 100. And same concept as the first one. They had 3. They were all Christmas or holiday themed. So we had electrifying ornament, erupting ornament, and invisible ink. And this was distributed over 4 schools, and they were actually delivered to each school. So Stephanie and I went to one school a day and set up in their parking lot and had our holiday STEAM kit giveaway, basically. So we got to see all the girls and wish them happy holidays and Merry Christmas. So it was really nice to see them and keep that connection with them as well. And again, these were 100% free. Losing that face-to-face connection with our students, we really got to thinking of how we can connect with them again and how we can engage them in STEAM. So we created the Mini Gems clubs. So we meet every Monday from 4:30 to 5. It's a 30-minute meeting where we do STEAM experiments and we do some fun discussion activities. We do Kahoots, which the girls love, virtual scavenger hunts, which they love as well. Just a lot of fun things to get them talking. And so it's not, we want to give them some fun things to do. But they're all virtual meetings, and we have them from 4 schools, 2 districts, and we actually created a GEMS YouTube channel, which is that picture right there. I'm actually doing the experiment of the snake bubbles that we had in our first kit. So we created this YouTube channel so that the girls can log on and do the experiments at home. It's not working again. Okay, that's not the end. There we go.
Stephanie, I think you're muted.
story of our lives. Sorry. Okay, so kind of backtracking what I was saying, since the original ISEA conference was going to happen a little bit sooner this month, originally we were kind of jumping in our plans for 2021, but we're halfway through March now. We developed our third STEAM kit. We called it our Spring Break STEAM Pack, which was really fun. We had 3 experiments, all water themed, basically trying to get our kiddos outside and away from a computer, just having fun and being kids. We actually did 1 experiment each day during our virtual spring break camp that we just had this last week. They were held Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday from 10 to 11. Quick lesson learned, next time we're going to put them in the afternoon because some of our kiddos were still sleeping. They were a little sleepy at 10 in the morning. So that was one thing we thought about. So next time we're going to make our camps a little later in the day. We have our GEMS website that we're currently working on. We had somebody in our lab who was working on it, but Calista and I being a meteorologist, Calista being an education major, we are not website builders. So that is something her and I are learning how to do on top of video editing for our YouTube channel. So we are basically a jack of all trades when it comes to GEMS. This summer, our plans as of right now for June 7th through August 6th is to have our camps. At the end of that, we will have a big symposium. Our original plans is to have over 200 students, 6 mini gym camps, 1 mega gym camp, and an 8-week research camp. We're still not 100% sure that this is going to happen as things are constantly evolving with COVID, with CDC guidelines and restrictions, but we always have plan A, B, and C. We are very excited though, this week, or this summer, I should say, our research camp is actually going to be a part of the ARO, which is the Army Research Office, and we are going to be with the AEOP, the Army Education Outreach Program. We're very excited for this because this will allow our girls not only to have a more in-depth research, but adding that their research is part of the ARO on top of their CV, but then also it's going to be an apprenticeship, so they will have an opportunity to get paid to get their real lab experience this summer. So we're very excited about that. Our research camp is just getting more and more elevated each time we do it. We're also excited to hopefully introduce our Lego Flybricks. As we've had the Lego EV3s and as we've had all these drones, the Lego Flybricks is something that we're really interested in. We think that some of our younger girls will enjoy the actual engineering aspect of building it, but then also programming it. Next slide. And of course, our acknowledgements. We cannot do what we do without all of our amazing funders and sponsors. Everything we do is 100% free for our girls year round. Doesn't matter whether we're hosting a First Lego League competition, after school club, summer camps, their eating, transportation, everything is 100% free to our girls. This way we can tell the parents, you don't have to worry. Let's just let your kids have fun. Let them enjoy, let them learn. And I always say I want them to have some steaming good fun, for STEAM, STEAM. So I know I always have to throw in something a little punny. But again, we can't do what we do without all of our amazing, the Texas Workforce Commission, Valero, HEB. We can't do it. And like Calista said, this is our passion project and we thoroughly enjoy what we do. Next slide.
Thank you so much for logging on and joining us today. I hope y'all learned a lot about GEMS and what we do and why we are so passionate about it. If you would like to contact us, there is our GEMS email, gemssatx@gmail.com. There are 2 S's next to each other, so make sure you don't leave one of them out if you want to contact us. And then we also have all of our social media as well. So thank you so much, and we are open for questions if you have any.
Yes, and just to reiterate, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. We really, like I said, we enjoy what we do. It's a lot of hard work, but seeing the smiles on those girls' faces, especially seeing them every Monday, I've actually come to enjoy Mondays, which a lot of people don't, but especially Mondays. Some of our girls are logging on 15 minutes early, just waiting for us because they were excited for camp or our club for that day. So thank you very much.
I have a question. How do y'all find your staff and how do you train your staff?
I'll take that one.
Go for it.
So We actually have some of our teachers from the schools that we work with come to the camps during the summer and log on to our Zoom meetings as well. So we have the teachers there so that the students have a familiar face. So they're not just thrown into this camp not knowing anybody. And they have somebody like another mentor or somebody there too as well. And the teachers get to participate in the camp and club as well, which is really fun for them. They get some new activities for their class and things like that. So we partner with the teachers and they get a stipend for the camp. So, yeah.
And to add to it, we also, so not only do we have the teachers who join us to help ease, because they know the students, and so it helps that connection. But we also, majority of our counselors are UIW students. We also encourage to have mostly female, if not all female staff, just because it is a girls program. But we've had chemistry majors, we've had our education, pharmacy, meteorology, you name it.
Yep.
We basically use our resources of different people that we know on campus. And we were actually, right before COVID happened, we were already starting to interview for our 2020 camps, trying to see exactly, because we want somebody also to help add to our curriculum. So getting graphic designers, some of the cybersecurity, you name it, whatever it is, we definitely want someone that feels comfortable with the kids and the teaching part, but then also can help us to constantly change our curriculum, because that's one of our biggest challenges, is that we can't do the same thing twice, because we want these girls, we don't want them to be, oh, this again. We want it new, exciting, and fun. So
Thanks for that question. That was a good question.
How do you organize the transportation?
all the transportation is from UIW. So we actually, thankfully, we have several people with the math, science, and engineering department who we worked with in the past. And because we are a nonprofit and 100% grant funded, that we go through and we talk with our transportation of all of our buses. And thankfully, they are able to give us a very good deal to help us out. They usually try to give us at cost, which helps us out because we are paying for, at one time, we had 5 shuttles going to 5 places every morning and every afternoon for 2 weeks. And so, yes, the costs add up pretty quickly. But thankfully, UIW knows what we're doing and they try to help us with giving us the best rate we possibly can. Thank you for that. Are there any other questions? Again, thank you for joining us. It was very nice to have all of you here today. We love talking about GEMS. We could sit here and do this all day.
I have another question. Can you tell us about your curriculum development? So is it just the 2 of you? How many people are working on that throughout the year? It seems like a lot of work put in during the year to pull off those spring break and summer programs.
Yes.
All you, Calista.
It is just me and Stephanie. We basically are the staff of GEMS year round. And then like during the summer, we have teachers and counselors. But during the school year, it's me and Stephanie doing all the curriculum and activities for the girls, community outreach as well. We're constantly thinking of ideas outside of the box to our students. But yes, Pinterest is a good resource. Any online STEAM websites that we find good experiments on. One thing that I want to mention about our experiments and our STEAM kits is that we serve under-resourced and underrepresented areas of San Antonio. So a lot of our students don't have like super elaborate science or engineering equipment, at home, like not have that. But a lot of the activities, actually all of the activities that we do, the students will have the materials at home. So like baking soda, vinegar, that explosion. We try to incorporate materials that the students already have at home in their pantry, in their fridge, in their cupboards. But that's really our main goal, developing their curriculum. So that can get a little bit difficult thinking about that, but that is our mindset, developing our curriculum.
To kind of add to what Calista said, one thing we learned, I think it was around 2016, 2017, before I had joined GEMS, is that one of our schools that we work with, the closest HEB they have was 8 miles away. And most of our parents don't necessarily have vehicles and things like that. So if we were to ever do an experiment at home, especially right now, everything can be purchased at the local dollar store. And at that time, if they do need to purchase something, it's maybe 2, maybe 3 items at most. So that way we're not putting a financial strain or burden on the parents to make them feel like if their kids go to them and ask them, Mom, I want to do this experiment, this is what I need next week. And if mom and dad, grandma, aunt, uncle, whoever it is, they, $2 may be something that they can handle, that then we can use those same items for more of our experiments. And one thing we changed from our first kit to the second kit is we put it in a reusable container so they can start storing everything. So we always talk about it, go get your kit, make sure you rinse it off and dry it off so we can save it for next time. So we use a lot of the same stuff, but we use it a little bit different. We always add a little tweak to it or change it up or show them new ways to do something. So that's something we're always trying to do as well. Just, we don't want anyone to feel like they can't be a part of what we do because if they don't have something. So, and then plus to add to the curriculum, our girls sometimes are saying, hey, I saw this, can we try this? And so one of our latest was the Coke and Mentos. We always love Coke and Mentos. Obviously I'll run in my backyard, but we're doing how many Mentos, how big of an explosion it'll be, whether the soda's flat, if it's HEB brand soda, regular soda. So, all the steps to an experiment, the trial and error, things like that, and getting them talking. So that's really fun too, is the feedback that they like to ask us about different experiments or something that they saw. So, but thank you. Oh, we got a thumbs up. Thank you.
We can definitely stick around for more questions. I'm going to add the link in the chat. I added one for the evaluation for this session. So please go and evaluate this session so we can get some good feedback. And then I'm going to add the link to our next session, which will start at 12. And that way anyone who wants to click over can do so.
And I am adding our Gmail account. So if anyone would like to email us, ask us questions, they want to be a part of it, somebody who has some money they would like to donate to us, we're all for that. We've met a lot of amazing people. We actually did another conference in the past. That's how we got in touch with one of our people with HEB. And since then, we've developed an amazing relationship, and they continue to help sponsor us and fund us. And so thank you, everybody. We truly appreciate you joining us today and listening in. Oh, thank you. We agree. It's an awesome program. We love it. Thank you.
Yeah, it was very
so
impressive.
much, everybody. Thank you.
I had
We're
one
glad
last.
we get to do.
Oh, Kristen. Yeah.
So I had one last question before y'all sign off really quickly. Given in a couple of years, you're going to have your own GEMS alumni, and they'll be old enough to be either trying to seek jobs for themselves or potentially in your equivalent positions, an undergraduate looking for an opportunity to expand their experience. Are you hoping to be able to create a pipeline into the GEMS employment? And so you're leaving room for these young women to come in and be your employees or potentially advisors or mentors for your program. Have you thought about that? And what does that look like for you all?
Yes, definitely. We actually have a GEMS alumni already, and she is actually a first-year student at MIT. And we actually had her come back as a guest speaker for our virtual research camp, and she talked to our girls about her experience of applying to MIT and what her degree path looked like, and how her experience at GEMS shaped her and influenced her to go into the STEAM fields. So yes, we're definitely thinking about bringing back our alumni, and we love to have them back as guest speakers and camp counselors as well.
Yeah, we were actually, one of our girls, what we spoke of earlier, Vishali Baker, she was also possibly going to come back as a counselor this year. And it's really neat because some of the girls remember faces, and this is one of the times a year that they can actually see other people from other schools. So yes, we always encourage girls. And again, as the girls are now officially getting old enough to be in college, that's one thing we're also talking about is the different types of degree plans that are available. This classic one is being an engineer. They think you're an engineer, you build a bridge. And it's like, okay, there's like 500 different options out there for an engineer. It's not just that one. So that's something we're also trying to provide for the girls while they're there. We never want to be a school or have that school-like setting while they're in camp, but we do want to provide them with opportunities that they can see what else is out there. Especially for meteorologists. They always think, oh, automatically you're on TV. Well, no, that's actually broadcast. That's more of a journalism. It's not as much science. So again, it's teaching them and showing them and, showing them that admissions process is actually not that hard and kind of giving them tips and tricks. And so yes, if the girls want to come back, we always invite them back because that's something we always want. Once you're a part of GEMS, you're always a part of GEMS.
Great, thank you. That's very exciting.
Oh, thank you. I was trying to read everything in the chat, Miss Emily.
Yeah, there weren't many more questions. It's mostly just, this
Thank
is
you.
great. It was so cool to hear about this program. Y'all are doing some really cool stuff.
Thank you. We try. Again, like we always talk about it, it's a lot of hard work, but it definitely pays for itself when you see the smile on the girls' faces.
Yeah,
Especially the clubs on Mondays at 4:30. I mean, seriously, Mondays, I actually look forward to Monday afternoons because it's like, I know we're constantly prepping. Hey, do you have this ready? Do you have that ready? What do you need me to do? But then it's just fun. And to hear them laughing and, oh, look what I did. Look at mine. Look at mine. So yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's really a lot of fun. I think we laugh more than anything on Mondays at 4:30. Like it's amazing just to talk with them and get to know them.
Well, it's great that y'all have such good turnout and connection. I mean, it obviously shows that y'all have done good relationship building, which is so important in programs like this.
Definitely, and especially that connection not only with parents but with the teachers. All those relationships help grow this program.
So I actually have one more question just because I'm curious. I used to run our makerspace here at the museum, and so I often, when you get into those upper level kind of engineering or maker activities, you kind of reach your own ceiling on how much you know about stuff. So do y'all have consultants in the engineering department and things like that, or do y'all just teach yourselves so you can help them? I mean, how do y'all?
No, we're smart. We find people that know this stuff.
Yes. Okay.
We use our resources. So the Autonomous Vehicle Systems Lab is full of engineers, CIS, computer science, you name it. So we all have all different backgrounds. So that's how we help. We use this to develop our curriculum. So that way, if something does come along, we do have somebody that knows what they're doing. That's why it also, when we try to find our counselors, the same way. We try to find someone, we don't want a bunch of just engineers. Yes, we want them talking about, but we want the diversity as well. We want the girls to see that there's a lot of options out there. And if we can show them 100 different options in 2 weeks, then we're going to show them 100 different options. Mm-hmm. But if we're all a bunch of engineers, it's going to be the same thing. So especially Calista, she's education major and she has a minor in math and reading. And then I am a meteorology. So it's always, anytime I can talk weather, I'm going to talk weather. So, and Calista knows that. I'm like, oh, but did you know we can do this? And yeah, it's
this morning you were talking about the weather.
Yes.
Yeah. But also, what a cool way to show them the idea of collaborating and having a network and colleagues, because it's I don't know the answer to this, but who can I find that does? If you have this big group of people with all different backgrounds, it starts to help you seek out the experts, and that's awesome.
Yeah, especially being at a pretty, I would say it's a very large university, and with all the different degree plans, there's a lot of female professors. And so we definitely like to reach out to them, and some of them just fall in love with GEMS. So they're happy. We send them an email and they're like, okay, tell me when and where, I'm ready. That's so awesome. They're already waiting for our emails or our phone calls to join in and talk to the girls. So, but yeah, we use our resources. We use a lot of the people we have on campus. We also partner with a couple students from Trinity University because it's on the other side of the highway. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, we're smart. We know we don't know everything, so we know people who do though.
Well, our museum is part of Baylor, and so we are also on a campus, and we've got some pretty good connections to different researchers and things. And so we do the Portal to the Public program. If y'all have heard of that before, it's a program that actually, it's a national program, but it trains scientists on how to present their current research in a way that people will, like visitors will understand. So it kind of helps them come up with hands-on activities and things that help illustrate the actual research they're working on. So it is nice to be a part of a campus where you are connected to so many different resources and people who are studying so many different things. And so, well, very cool. Thank y'all for that presentation. It was so great. And
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
yeah, I think our little conversation here at the end will be recorded too. So maybe it'll get added to the recording because that was even more great information. So I think that I'm going to save the chat just in case. I don't know if that gets saved with the recording, but the recording should be up in like a few weeks if y'all wanted to reference what y'all's looks like. And I hope we see y'all at the rest of the conference.
Thank you. We
Yeah,
appreciate
Thank you
it.
so much.
Yes, of course. It was so nice to meet y'all.
The same. Have a
Likewise.
wonderful day.
Thanks, you too. Bye.